Myth isn't just what we tell around the fire. It's what we choose to see and what we choose to ignore. What we say and what gets said in the silence after. Every culture has its myths, every faith, every nation. Even reason does, though we pretend it doesn't. And that brings us to a man who hated superstition but loved truth, Thomas Paine. The radical who took a hammer to crown and cross, and, strangely enough, to the word prophet. You've heard the word before, seer of the future, messenger of God. But what if I told you that in the Bible, prophet might not mean predictor at all? For Paine, the prophet wasn't a fortune teller, the prophet was a poet, maybe even a musician. And if he's right, then fulfilled prophecy might just mean a really successful jam session. For Paine, biblical prophets weren't mystics predicting the end of the world. They were cultural voices, poets, singers, musicians, shaping meaning for their people. And here's the surprising part. The Bible itself actually backs him up. Samuel 10, 5 and 6. That doesn't sound like Nostradamus. That sounds like a street festival, a marching band, who prophesied with lyres, harps, and cymbals. There it is again. To prophesy is to play music, to speak in rhythm, to chant, to perform. Half the Psalms written by prophets, literally songs. So Paine's question hits hard. If prophet means poet in one verse, why assume it means psychic in the next? Navi probably comes from a root meaning to bubble up, to pour out, to speak. That could mean divine oracle, sure, but it could just as easily mean the bubbling speech of poetry or song. And here's the real kicker. We don't actually know how ancient Israelites understood this word. We don't even know if they agreed with each other. Pretending we know? That's not scholarship. That's storytelling. Words change. Language drifts. It always has. If gay flipped from joyful to identity, if awful flipped from awe-inspiring to terrible, if angel went from postal worker to winged immortal, why are we so confident prophet always meant crystal ball gazer? The honest answer? We shouldn't be. When it is revealed to the first person only, it is revelation. When told to the second, third, or fourth, it is no longer revelation. It is hearsay. That's Paine, slicing through the noise. If revelation is already hearsay, then prophecy is standing on even shakier ground, because we don't even know what the word meant when it was written. Human language is local and changeable, and is therefore incapable of being the means of unchangeable and universal information. That's the nail in the coffin. If words drift, and the meaning shifts, and the roots dissolve, then how could this text possibly be the eternal, unchanging word of an all-powerful God? So here's where we land. We don't know what Navi originally meant. Scripture itself shows prophets acting like poets and musicians. Words always shift. Always. So when someone says, this prophecy was fulfilled, I have to ask, fulfilled prophecy or just a really tight jam session? To pretend certainty about ancient words is not scholarship, it's mythology. Maybe that's the myth here, not the stories themselves, but our belief that words can trap truth. We chisel meanings into stone, even as the words melt like wax under the candle. And in that flicker, that distortion, the myth is born. For Paine, clarity, responsibility, and courage meant stripping away superstition and facing reality. The reality is simple. We don't know exactly what prophet meant, and that's okay. What isn't okay is pretending we do. Because once you see the cracks, once you admit uncertainty, the whole tower of fulfilled prophecy starts to wobble. Myth is what we choose to see, and what we choose to ignore. The prophets we remember, and the poets we forget, tell us exactly who we think we are. Paine understood something most people resist. Language isn't a divine code. It's a human mirror, and every reflection is just a little distorted.